Yes, yes, yes. What's up, everybody? It's your girl with Montez, La Diva Latina. And we're here. We're in the building. My guest is here. If you listen to hip-hop music in the 80s, you are familiar with the flow. Add in a flat top, rope chains, and four-finger rings. The smooth, tall, dark, and handsome MC from Brooklyn who took over the scene with his lyrics and charming demeanor. To those close to him, he's known as Antonio Hardy. But to music fans across the world, he's known as Kane. King, Asiatic, nobody's equal. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you Grammy Award winner, rap legend, and actor, Big Daddy Kane. What's up?
What's up?
What's up? What's up? You're just watching me read and stumble.
You're about to make me blush over here.
First of all, welcome to the show. You have no idea how humbled I am by you just being here. Myself, as well as people listening, we consider you an icon, a legend. I mean, do you get tired of hearing that? Is it like...
No, I mean, that's a beautiful thing. I truly appreciate that. I mean, everything I've done has always been for my love of music and for the people that love hip-hop. So, years down the line, people want to, show love. I definitely appreciate it.
Dope. Well, first of all, how was your day?
Oh, my day is wonderful. It's been very busy.
Busy, right?
It started like 7 a.m., so it's been kind of crazy, but, very productive, so I'm happy.
That's what's up. I mean, what a wonderful way to start the year off. You were on Wendy's show this morning. I got a glimpse of it. I was able to watch it at work. How was that? Tell us about that.
Oh, it was wonderful. Wendy was cool, and she asked a lot of wonderful questions and addressed a lot of things that, I love talking about, and the crowd was crazy.
It was amazing, right?
The crowd was energetic,
Well, one of the things I want to talk to you first, obviously, is you're promoting a movie. It's called Exposed. Can you tell us about it?
Yes, it's a movie called Exposed. It's a suspense thriller that stars Keanu Reeves, Mira Sorvino, and myself. And basically, it's, Keanu Reeves is a police detective that's trying to find out who killed his former partner. And I play this drug dealer in the movie called Black, and he thinks that it's me.
Yeah, I saw the trailer today, actually, and it really looks interesting. When is that going to come out?
It comes out January 22nd.
All right, cool. So we'll keep our eyes open for that. But we have so much to talk about. I want to talk about the music. I want to talk about the dancing, the ladies. I want to talk a little bit about the beef and the drama going on back then. There were a lot of secret wars that people used to talk about between you, Rakim. There were always stories here and there that you guys were going at each other through the lyrics. Can you... I'm sure it's dead, and I'm sure this is way old, and you probably don't want to talk about it, but can you just kind of confirm or deny? Is there any truth to it? I mean, as a rapper, as an MC, people go at each other.
I never had no beef with Rakim because, Eric B, that's always been my homie. He's always been cool with me, and Eric, younger brother, Ant Live, was my road manager.
Okay, yeah.
So, I never had no beef. I think that it was more or less the thing that people wanted to see. People wanted to see me and Rakim.
Well, you guys were at the height. I mean, you both were, battling it out for, like, the top reign and who's going to, I guess if you're the best and he's the best, or, then it's only right that people are pairing you guys together and saying, well, who's better, Kane or,
Yeah. I understood, the nature and, where it was coming from and, what the public wanted to see.
Right.
But, that's one of the type of situations where it takes two to tango, so both parties would have to want to do that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I obviously, I did a lot of research because I knew you were coming, and I wanted to have my facts straight, and I got to watch Unsung, the documentary about you, which really gave a vivid point of view of your life, and it just kind of, I felt like I was on stage dancing with you. But I want to go back. When did you know that you wanted to rap? I mean, at what age? When did it come?
I think when I really caught a bug for hip hop and MCing, I believe it was like 82. I think it was like 1982. I was probably like around 13 or something like that.
Okay. If you ask people today who their idols are, who are the legends for them, you're going to be on that list. Who are some of the idols for you? Who are people that you grew up listening to?
Well, in hip hop, it would be Grandmaster Caz. Like, he was like basically my favorite out of everyone, Grandmaster Caz. And then, of course, Melly Mel and Kool Moe Dee. Spoonie G as well. You know, Tito from the Fearless Four.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you happy?
Oh, yeah, I'm having a ball.
I feel like you're so cool, like you're just so smooth, and I don't know. But we have so many questions, and if you guys are listening, I have Big Daddy Kane in the building. If you guys want to call up here, the number is 347-855-3308. Let's talk about the shows. Let's talk about you on stage. I spoke to Technician, the DJ, and he told me, man, I don't like going on after Kane because he shut it down, and he comes on and he dances, and after that split, forget it. Tell us about the dancing. Where did it start? Like, whose idea? Like, where did it come from? Because rappers weren't dancing back then. They were too cool for that.
Well, I mean, Heavy D, he was dancing.
Yeah.
Joe Ski Love, he had the Pee Wee Herman joint. So there were a few rappers that were dancing. But I mean, with me, basically, it all started like one time I was with Dougie Fresh at his crib, and he showed me these videos of Earth, Wind and Fire, Pink Floyd, and Michael Jackson concerts that they had did, live concerts, and basically showed me how he saw stuff they did on stage. And how he flipped it around into a hip hop way to incorporate it in his show, like saying like this is something dope to take your stage performance to another level, So once I saw that, I ran to the store and purchased a Barry White concert, a Marvin Gaye, and a James Brown.
To go see them perform?
No, it's just concerts, live concerts on VHS.
Gotcha.
Yeah, VHS. That's right.
Hey, that's my era. I'm not,
But yeah, I purchased those, and like on one of the videos, I saw the move when James Brown would do the split, and Bobby Bird would pull him up by his hair.
Yeah.
And like that's what I was like, oh yeah, that was hot. That's
put that into rap. Yeah. Speaking of VHS, okay, because we're all telling our age. I was talking to my brother, my older brother earlier, Eric, and he goes, man, remember when me and Jari used to dance and we used to pull me up? We was doing the Scoob and Scrap. I was like, I know, I remember. I was the one videotaping you guys back then. One of the questions someone asked me was, you're still down with Scoob? Is Scrap still around? Or are you?
Yeah, Scrap is around. Scrap doesn't dance no more, but we talk on the regular.
Okay.
Like he'll call me, he's like a night hawk. He'll call me like 1 o'clock in the morning and start talking about some crazy stuff, man. But he's good though. He's chilling.
Yeah.
Scrap is chilling.
So watching the documentary, I also learned that, and also on the Wendy Williams show, I learned that Jay-Z, people thought that he was your hype man. I know he's not. He wasn't your hype man. You would let him perform while you were changing and while you were changing sets and stuff like that. Tell us about that. How did that happen?
I had, when I came off one of my tours, I ended up going on the road with Patti LaBelle because we had a song together called Feels Like Another One. So I went on the road with her. And watching her perform, like in the middle of the show, she would leave the stage and her background singers would take the lead and she would change outfits and come back out. And I just thought that was something slick and nobody was doing it in hip-hop. So I said, I got to do that. So when I went back out on tour, I took Jay-Z and Positive K along with me. And in the middle of the show, I would leave the stage and bring out Jay-Z and Positive K and just let them rhyme. Go on, do their thing for like about 10 minutes while I'm in the back changing clothes, and I would come back out in another outfit and finish the show. Well,
watching your shows, I mean, you're such an entertainer, from the dancing to just moving the crowd. That was your whole point, that you wanted to get the crowd moving. And I saw that you said, whether I want them to jump or move left to right, you control the crowd. Was that always like your thing? That was always like your niche?
Well, I mean, that was something that I always thought was important. I learned that from people like Dougie Fresh, Biz Markie, Busy B. I remember back in 88, I believe, 87, 88, I can't remember. I had a show in Philly with Busy B, and I watched him perform his song Suicide for 15 minutes straight. Wow. That one song he did for 15 minutes straight. He did the song and probably probably for about close to 10 minutes. He just did nothing but crowd participation stuff off the beat, and then did the whole song again and said good night, and that was his show.
Wow. You know, I saw a performance of you a couple of weeks ago where you dropped the mic. Was that intentional?
Yeah, that's something that we used to do.
That was part of the show.
Because, that was before, YouTube.
Right. I thought that was so dope, but in my head I said, he's a professional. He planned that because the beat came on, and that just says so much about you as an entertainer to the point where you plan that. Like, artists nowadays, they get creative and stuff like that, but not to that extent. They don't plan it out. Even from your name, Kane, come on, like, King, Asiatic, nobody's equal. Like, where did that come from? I mean, I know it came from the karate flicks and stuff like that, but where did it come from?
Well, that's the Kane part. The King Asiatic, nobody goes that. That's the Islamic attribute. You know what I'm saying? It's 5%. That was the name that I used. But the Kane part, that came from the David Carradine TV show Kung Fu.
Oh man. Yeah. So much to talk about. If you guys are just tuning in, it's your girl with Montez, La Diva Latina, and I'm here with legendary Big Daddy Kane. Going back, let's talk about the Juice Crew. How did that come about? I know that you met Biz and he sort of brought you in, or how did that happen?
The Juice Crew existed before me.
You, right.
You had, what chapter it was then at that time in the mid 80s, because they actually date back to like the beginning of the 80s with different members,
it just kind of
from the Bronx, but that particular chapter, it started with Roxanne Shante,
right? She was my idol growing up as a female. She was my idol.
I used to be her DJ, But it started with Roxanne Shante, MC Shan, Polo, when he had I think his name was MC Frost before he even had G-Rap, Craig G, and then I think G-Rap came, and then Biz came, and Biz brought me in, and then Master Ace came. Matter of fact, even Tragedy was there actually before me.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it just evolved, and you guys did records together. You did the symphony, obviously.
Yeah, we did this. What the dope thing I think about the Juice Crew was that everybody had, their own unique style.
Right.
Like Shan was the wild, reckless, crazy dude. Shantae was the sassy mouth girl that just would bark on anybody.
Right.
Biz was the comedian. I was like, the sex symbol. G-Rap was the gangster. Master Ace was like, the conscious MC.
Right.
Yeah.
So speaking about the Juice Crew, because like I said, I had to do a lot of research. Every time I dug something else came up, and it was like, well, I didn't know that, And so I was researching, obviously, switching gears, talking about it. Landed me on KRS, and obviously there was drama between KRS and not necessarily the Juice Crew, but MC Sham and Shan, and also Shantae.
The Bronx Bridge War.
Right. But you didn't become a part of that. You kind of left it between them as two men. Tell us about that. Why didn't you get involved as a crew?
Well, at the time, me and KRS were cool. We were real cool. We broke bread at a show I did with Biz in Canada, and when I moved from my parents' crib, him and Miss Melody helped me move.
Right.
So we were tight like that, and me and Shan were kind of shaky when I first became a member of the Juice Crew. Right. So I never got involved in that. That was their thing.
That was between them.
Yeah.
Going back real quick, I don't want to stay on it for too long. I read the drama or not to say drama, but whatever little spark or thing that was going on between you and Rakim. Is it true that he was in the studio and he was taking long to lay down a verse, and you said something like, man, by the time...
I've never been in the studio with Rakim.
So to see how things, are said or written, and you can't always believe what you read, so here you are clearing that up. But it's said that he was taking too long, and that you were like, by the time he's done, I could have did an album or something like to that effect.
Nah, nothing like that ever happened. I've never in my entire life been in the studio with Rakim. And let's just get one thing straight. Because I hear a lot of people today say stuff like, yo, check this song, and they play something for you, and they're like, yeah, man, and yo, I wrote that in like 10 minutes. Or, and that's all off the head.
Yeah.
And like, they're saying it like it's a big thing, but in my mind, I'm sitting there like,
it's not.
and that's why it sounds like that.
It sounds like 10 minutes.
What I'm saying? So, I mean, like, you have certain artists that take their time to, because anybody knows that a real artist creates a masterpiece.
Right.
So you take your time to create a masterpiece. Right. So if Rakim takes a long time to write a verse, you better believe that it's going to be worth the wait.
It's going to be worth the wait. Well, speaking about lyrics, I'm glad that you said that, because listening to your songs, I mean, they're so full of content. It's like you squeeze all these lyrics into these bars. What mindset were you at? Like, where did these lyrics come from?
I mean, the lyrics is just me.
He's like,
the lyrics is just me. But that type of flow,
the things
that's
that you
something
say.
But that flow was really what I learned from being a Grandmaster Caz fan. I mean, you're talking about what I did in 87 and 88. But I mean, I'm talking about what Caz did in 80, 81. He had those type of rhymes. Just dress my best and request my guests not to mess with the cess that I possess. He was doing that back then,
Wow. Man, I want to ask you, looking back now, today, is hip-hop what you thought it would be, or where it would be, or where it should be? You've seen so many people come and go.
Popularity-wise, yeah, it's exactly where I thought it would be. Popularity-wise, absolutely. I would say quality-wise, nah, I think it kind of shifted. It changed.
Took a turn.
Yeah, it changed a lot. Because, I mean, as a cultural movement, it used to take an MC, a producer, and a DJ to make a hot song. Really, it's all in the hands of the producer now.
Right.
Nobody scratches on records no more, and the MC might just be repeating the same 4 or 8 lines throughout the whole song.
Right.
So it's like those moments where you play a song and you got to stop and rewind and be like,
like,
did you hear what he said?
Did he just say that?
Like, you don't really have those moments, that much anymore.
That element of creativity. Yeah. It's not there. Well, I want to do something quick, because I know the time is going. I want to play a little bit of your songs. And I'm not going to play a long piece. I kind of want to take you back in that moment, and I just kind of want you to tell us what comes to your mind, what comes to your, what memories of these records, of these songs, because we listen to these songs and we could probably remember what house party we were at, or what club we was at, or what, So I want you, Big Daddy Kane, to tell us what comes to mind when you hear something like this.
This song right here, Set It Off, like, this is like my favorite song that I've ever made. Like, I mean,
that was the question I had. Yeah. What was your favorite song?
I mean, it could be a night where I'm, feeling under the weather or just tired. Once I do this and the beat drop, everything is back to normal. It's showtime, baby. So this was that song that I just really enjoyed making. And I mean, it started that way because I was listening to James Brown on Sex Machine, and how it started off with him just talking, moving, grooving.
Right.
Y'all count it off. Can we count it off? 1, 2, 3, 4. I was like, I want to do something like that where it just start off with just raw lyrics and then the beat come in
Crazy.
Later. Yeah.
Well, I didn't even know what song to start. That was like a dilemma for me. I was like, what song am I going to start with? Because I really wanted to set it off. But here we go. We're going to get another record right now.
Raw was a very, very important record to me because prior to Raw that same year, I dropped a single called Just Rhyming with Biz. And, Biz was already, a star. He was already known. And since he started the song off, everybody thought it was a Biz record. So here I am with a song that Red Alert and Mr. Magic are playing on the radio. Bugsy is even playing it in the daytime. It's popping on the radio. and there's a lot of money out there for me in New York, Philly, in different places where it's playing.
Right.
But I couldn't get none of it because nobody was booking me for shows because everybody thought it was Biz's song. So I got a song out that's popping, and I'm sitting at home dead broke. You dig what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, I have to make a record with just me so people know that it's my song.
It's your song.
And I used to go to Fly Ty that owned Cold Chillin' Records, like basically begging, like, yo, please let me just go back in the studio again, please. Finally, I got on his nerve that much that he just said, man, just go ahead. And I came there with the Bobby Bird remix and Black Caesar soundtrack, and there you have it.
And there you have it. All right, let's do one more. Oh, this takes me back.
Well, with this, Ain't No Half Stepping, that was my breakout single. That was really like my introduction to the world.
Right.
Just Rhyming with Biz was like my introduction to the tri-state area. Raw was my introduction to the East Coast. This was my introduction to the world.
Right.
And when we made this song, I never forget, Biz was out record shopping and he called Cool V, so happy he found something. And I was at Cool V crib listening to this beat, and I'm like, yo, so since you so amped about that, what about this here Blind Alley record? Can I have this?
Right.
Go ahead, Kane. I'm like, my man.
Oh, man.
So, we took it in and to Marley, and, he looped it up, and we made this here song. And I mean, like, when we finished, I was like, okay, yeah. But then that night, I'm like, I don't know, is the music too pretty for the lyrics?
You thought that this was...
Yeah, I was like, I think the music might be a little too pretty for the lyrics. I don't know, maybe I should have said something smoother, or maybe I should change the beat to something harder. And then G-Rap, I think it was me, G-Rap, and Ant Live, and then G-Rap said, yeah, go ahead and change the beat and get that to me. I'll use that motherfucker.
It ain't too pretty for me.
So that's what convinced me. Nah, it's good. We good.
I'm good. Actually, I'm a pretty dude, so I'm good. Let's talk about the ladies. Al, Mr. Chocolate over here. What? I wish I can go back and just be a fly on the wall. Tell us about the ladies.
No, I promise you, sweetheart, if we went back, you wouldn't be a fly on the wall.
Hey, tell us about the ladies, though, because I did see the documentary and I did see your brother was what is it, Daddy? What's his name?
Shane.
Little Shane.
Little Daddy Shane.
And he was like, yeah, you, let's go. In that order. I mean, you were king. It was king. Like, you had it all. You had the ladies. You had you had the money, the power. I mean, what was it like? What did it feel like? And it, maybe it was good. Maybe it wasn't. What was it like? Just take us back a little bit. Did you like the attention? Did you not like the attention?
No. Sometimes, I like, a lot of times I like to be by myself. I like zone out and just do my own thing.
You're a Virgo.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, the attention is cool, at times.
Yeah.
And but more importantly, I love my fans.
Right.
And I love interacting with them. So I mean,
so you were taking them backstage, interacting with them. No, I'm just kidding.
Matter of speaking. Matter speaking.
I like it. Oh, man. So can we just go back? I want to go really back. And I love doing this with my guests because I like to get into their lives and the things that we don't see and the things that we don't hear. Tell us about young Kane. Tell us about 10-year-old Antonio. What kind of kid were you? What were you doing?
I mean, when I was young, hanging out, going to block parties.
Were you a good kid? Were you getting into trouble? Did you play sports?
No, I wasn't. Well, I mean, I tried to play sports. I just wasn't really that good at it. But I mean, I think I was your average kid.
Yeah.
I did what I do.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I was your average kid.
Your parents? Tell us about them.
My parents, they were wonderful. They were married until my mom's passed. It was like 2 years ago. Yeah. So I was brought up in a beautiful household. My pops was a truck driver. My mother was was a registered nurse. You know, so I mean, it was beautiful.
And they supported you through the music.
Oh yeah. No, well, you know, my pops, he a country boy, so it's like, as long as you don't mess with his beer, we cool. He was one of them type of dudes. And
right.
my mom's, she supported me from day one. I never forget when Mr. C aunt wouldn't let him use the turntables in the crib. Like I said, the music was loud or whatever. So he brought the turntables over to my crib, and we pulled my mom's speakers out from the wall and set her ironing board across the speakers and set the turntables up like that. And she came home from work early, and I just thought I was she was about to hand it to both of us.
Oh my goodness!
And she just walked in the house. Oh, y'all doing y'all hip hop thing?
Y'all doing y'all music stuff?
She said, y'all doing y'all hip hop thing? Okay, baby, just don't turn it up too loud because I'm gonna go lay down for a while.
Aww.
And I was like, wow, like she was just cool with it,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean that helps. I mean, when you have family that supports what you're doing, it helps. It helps to dream. Can you tell us 3 things that we wouldn't know from pictures and videos and just watching you? 3 things about you.
3 things about me. I don't know. I mean,
do you cry when you watch movies? Do you love going to the park? Do you like to sit by the water? What do you watch? What do you do in your free time?
My free time, what I like to do is I like to go into my little man cave, and I turn on this iTunes visualizer called Disco Brick and play like some Willie Hutch, and David Ruffin, Bobby Womack, and stuff like that. Open a nice bottle of Cabernet or Monastrell and just relax. That's my thing.
Okay, that's 1. I'm trying to pull it out. What else? What kind of person are you?
I would like to think that I'm just a regular person, a normal person, I mean, what you see is what you get, ain't no additives or preservatives. This is basically how I live my life, day to day. So I mean, I don't really know how to answer.
You're so humble. You're so humble. Like I can't, Well, I don't want to keep you, but I'm gonna go as long as you allow me to go. So just bear with me. I want to play music, and I also want to take some calls. I don't know if the phones are on. I think I turned them on. How long are you in New York for, by the way?
I'm leaving in the morning.
You are. So thanks to the Wendy Williams show. I don't know if you saw this, but I posted on my Instagram. Thanks to the Wendy Williams show that you're here, that it made it possible for you to come here today. And, this is a dream. I mean, one of the things that I also read about you was that you worked with icons as well. You're an icon. You work with icons. I'm going to take this call, but I want to talk about Patti LaBelle because that paved the way. Cool. Actually, the call went. But let's talk about that. How was that experience working with Patti LaBelle, working with Quincy Jones? What was that like?
I mean, working with Patti was amazing because I remember like how it all came about, and then when it was set up for me to come to the studio, I went down to Philly to record the vocals, and I guess she spoke with my manager at the time, my man Botch, and found out, like what I eat, and she came to the studio with some mac and cheese. She had collard greens, vegetarian collard greens, some fried fish. Are you a pescatarian? I eat seafood.
Okay.
She had some fried fish and had some hot sauce in her purse,
What?
Yeah, I mean, came in there, like, fed her brother good. And, just because she knew I wanted to hear her sing, she went in and redid her vocals. And I'm just sitting there like, yo.
Can you believe, I can't believe it.
Yo, with Patti LaBelle. And she fed me. Wow. Like, yo, this is crazy.
This is before Instagram and Facebook and any of that stuff.
Before the pies?
Anything. It was before. Was it before the pies? Rug.